You know, I was coming out of a restaurant one night not that long ago in Palm Springs, where I live, on the main street of Palm Springs. It's like 8 o'clock at night. My car was parked on the main street. I headed over towards my car and I heard the commotion behind me. So I looked around to see what was going on. This is the main street. We have lots of tourists, you know, especially in winter. The population triples in winter. And here is a homeless woman. My guesstimate was that she was maybe in her 50s or even 60. And she'd gone into the very restaurant that I had just come out from. She had a brown paper bag, a large brown paper bag. And two of the waiters from this restaurant had picked her up bodily and carried her out, I think somewhat gently, and put her down on the sidewalk. She was obviously an embarrassment to the restaurant. And apparently she wanted food or food scraps. She had this large brown paper bag. So I'm standing over leaning against a telephone pole, watching this thing unfold. About 50 people stopped to witness this. It was quite a crowd on the main street. Very uncommon in Palm Springs. Anyway, while I'm standing there, the Holy Spirit comes to my mind and goes, knock, knock. I have to confess, sometimes I'm tempted to say there's nobody home, because I know exactly what God is going to ask of me. But fortunately, I was in a very receptive condition, and I said, okay, what is it? And God says to me, well, that woman, she's hurting, really. I said, yes, she is. In fact, she's probably embarrassed to death to be lifted up and carried out of a restaurant. And God says, well, I would like to minister to her. God and I have some interesting dialogues, you know. And I gave him my favourite answer. I said to God in my mind, well, go right ahead. That's what you're very good at doing. And God rebuked me and said, cut that out. Do you know that I need a human instrument? I said, yes, I have noticed that. He said, you're pretty close to the action here. I said, so are 50 other people. I'm still wiggling, you know. Finally, God says, okay, let's cut through it all. You do still work for me, don't you? I said, yes, I do. He said, well, I am choosing you. I act surprised and say, well, okay. So what do you want me to do? God says, go over to the woman, put your arm around her, and lift her up in prayer, and tell her that I have sent you, and this is my grace now coming to her. I said to God, you know what homeless people are like, how skittish they are. If I approach a homeless woman, especially a middle-aged woman on the street, she's going to back away from me. She will wonder about my intentions. And God says, let her know that I have sent you. It'll be okay. God's amazing, isn't he? Amen. We get all our little complications, and God is not really that complicated, I've decided. I said, okay. So I walk over near this woman, and as I approach her, she backs away from me, as I thought she would. I said, it's okay. I'm a safe person. She stopped. I said, I'm a Christian. And I was standing over there, and God just communicated with me and asked me to come and lift you up in prayer. Apparently, he's very concerned about you right now, and you have caught his attention. I said, I hope that's okay with you if I do this right now. And she looks around all these people. I said, it's okay. He asked me to do it right here. It's very public, you know. There are some things that shouldn't be hidden, no? They should be done publicly, like yesterday was so powerful. You know? Amen. And the woman, I could see a little tear in her eye. She said, okay, please pray for me. So I walked over very cautiously and just slipped my arm around her shoulder. And I don't consider myself to have a strong public gift of prayer. When I hear some people praying, I say, wow, if only I had that same gift. And yet there are times when, and especially this time like this, when God gives you the exact words. It's powerful when that happens, isn't it? And I found this prayer of praise and joy coming out of my lips, and I'm lifting up this woman, and I could tell that she's feeling the healing power of the Holy Spirit as I was praying. Anyway, I finished praying, and of course she's weeping now. And the whole crowd is all watching this spectacle unfold. And I finished praying, and one thing I meant to mention to you is that I have a very poor sense of smell. It saved me from great disasters in New Guinea, you know. But even I could smell this woman, and I said to myself, wow, this poor lady hasn't had a shower for a long, long time, you know. And it was kind of strong. Anyway, I took my arm away and I was planning my escape very quickly, and she spun around. And she's standing like this close to me now. And before I could actually move, she plants a kiss.
Oh, bless her.
Right on my lips.
Whoa.
And everything in me said, and I'm wanting to flee. And once again, God, who's so merciful to me, He rebuked me.
Amen.
God has a great sense of humor, you know.
Yes, He does.
Because He communicated with my mind as I'm thinking of how to escape. God communicated to me and said to me, basically in my mind, hey, what's wrong with you? You're not that desirable. I'm still laughing over that one. But God said to me, relax. She's not kissing you.
Amen.
She's kissing me.
Hallelujah.
You just happen to be the instrument that I've used to reveal my... Yes, I was in the way. I'm getting all worried about me. How do I escape this? And I failed to realize this woman is responding to God. She's so grateful in her heart. And God said to me, put your hand in your pocket and give her enough to live on for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So the pressure is reduced in her life. And I looked up, and you know what I said to God? I said, you know, you are incredible. You have the whole universe to administrate, millions of worlds probably, but you had enough time tonight to look down on the United States, to zero in on Southern California, to the desert. It's like meeting the widow at the gate in Nain, you know? And you zeroed in on this one homeless, middle-aged woman who is really hurting, and your heart of compassion was touched. And you prompted me to represent you here to bring about a revelation of your love. I mean, what an honor and a privilege that is. This is the kind of God that we serve. Amen. And I want to tell you, the reason I'm sharing this story is, and the woman was rejoicing when I left. Even though she was weeping, I could see the gratitude in her heart for the blessing that had come upon her. She actually had the privilege of encountering God through me.
Amen.
I don't know what you're like, but I get amazed every time God...
Humbled.
It's a humbling thing, because you feel so unworthy and so undeserving of being an instrument of God's revelation. But this is the grace of God. Huh? I want to tell you something. I need the mind of Jesus every single day in my life. Because I could have missed that opportunity. I could have jumped in my car and gone home and just said to myself, the poor woman, you know?
Yeah.
But God had other plans. God was thinking much bigger than me. He was wanting to reach a human heart. In the days when I don't take the time to put on the mind of Jesus, I do not have profitable encounters like this. But when I put on the mind of Jesus without exception, every day I have a beautiful encounter. God within me is wanting to meet people at the human level. I'm not naturally a very compassionate person. I grew up tough on the streets of Melbourne, Australia. But the more that I'm allowing Jesus to minister through me, especially to needy people, I'm discovering a gift of compassion that I never knew was there. And finally, God has reminded me, it's not yours, however. It's me in you.